my God, that I did it, that I didn't allow other people's fears to stop me, that this was such a life-altering experience that I actually, when I was there, I felt like I literally lived.
Welcome to the Crossing It Off podcast, where we believe living with intention through a bucket list lifestyle is a great way to bring yourself personal joy. As you are crossing items off your list, you're actually filling up your bucket. The more items you cross off, the more joy gets added, until eventually your joy spills over into the lives of those around you. Now let's start crossing it off together. Are you an overthinker? Do you overthink your bucket list? Our bucket list storyteller today warns us of not overthinking the items on our bucket list, because sometimes if we do, we don't get them crossed off. Let's learn how she did it, how it impacted her by trying not to overthink things too much. Let's start crossing it off. At this time, I'd like to welcome my guest, Irene Vaksberg, and she describes herself as unstoppable, which I love, positive, kind, and open. Irene, thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me here. I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. Irene, tell us, what did you cross off your bucket list?
I crossed Morocco off my bucket list.
All right. This is actually on my bucket list. I'm hopefully planning a 6-week trip there in the fall. So I'm hoping you give me and my listeners some great information. What was it about Morocco that excited you enough to put it on your bucket list?
Well, out of the blue, I got all of these messages. Meaning, I saw a Moroccan restaurant open. I saw a Moroccan rug store open. My customer went to Morocco and brought me something from there. And, I didn't know the country even existed besides going there. And, I dreamed about it, imagined it. Then I read this book called Many Lives, Many Masters. And I felt like I lived in Morocco in my past life. So that's kind of began the dream, the vision to go there, but evolved in something else. I fell in love with a Moroccan man.
Okay.
That lived in the United States. Even though we broke up, the journey still continued for me to be able to visit that beautiful country.
That's awesome. The influence that people have, whether it's positive or semi-negative, you still carry those good things with you. That's awesome.
Yes.
When and how did this trip take place? How did you plan for it? What were some of the things you had to do to make it happen?
Well, I don't speak Arabic, so that was kind of concerning to me, and broke up with my ex, was not helping me get there. He promised to take me. So I just started connecting with people that lived there. And I knew I had a very tight budget, that I could not afford all the hotels and things like that I need to go with someone that maybe someone knows. And I like to stay with the locals. I like to experience when I travel with people in the neighborhood, eat on the corner, somebody, no FDA approved, as I call it, the germs and all. And so I actually met this guy through the Moroccan community, all my friends, and we clicked. And I said to him, I'd like to come visit. Would you host me? And he said, sure. And that's kind of how it began. And I did it. I went.
That's awesome. I'm planning on using a website called workaway.info, where you can actually find jobs there with locals where you work like 20, 25 hours a week, but then they host you. The payment is room and board. And
yeah, so I actually heard that for Italy. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Wow. In Italy,
you can work
awesome.
on the farm. Some places you can pick up grapes and you work and they give you a room and board. And that would be absolutely incredible. I can't wait to hear how your experience went.
Yeah. So what was the reaction from family and friends when you said, I'm going to go to Morocco?
Well, my parents think I'm crazy anyway. So they don't pay. Well, I don't pay attention to their no's, right? If I paid attention to them, I would never do anything that I have done. And I live on my own terms, not on my parents' terms. And I was old enough to make my own decisions. That was a little nuts. because, we don't know anybody there. I don't speak Arabic, but whatever. And actually, that was the best part about it. The beauty of this trip, that if I would have went with my ex-boyfriend, we're still friends, so he's an incredible, beautiful soul, I would not have the same experience because I'm a talker and he speaks English. It would have been a completely different experience. This gentleman did not speak any English or barely a few words. Everything was through Translate, Google. I would carry a dictionary, French and English, or Arabic and English. And for me, it was exactly how it was meant to, because I felt it. I smelled it. I immersed myself in energy because I could not really speak it. I had to feel it. So all of the other senses were so wild and so open and so powerful. And it was so beautiful. And you can see my excitement right now.
I can,
living it. All the little places we went and little nuggets and corners that he could take me and we would just be present.
So were there any hesitations on your part? Were there any fears as a single woman? I know you're going to meet somebody there, but as a solo female traveler, were there any hesitations that you had or concerns that you had for going alone?
I should have had those hesitations, but I am a little crazy person that when I said myself something, that nothing can stop me. I didn't even think about any of those consequences. I just knew that this has been a dream for a very long time and I needed to go to Morocco no matter how I get there.
Oh, that's awesome. So tell us about the trip. Like, what are some of the places that you visited? What were some of the things that you were like, oh, I have to go do this?
So I didn't go with any specific goals. I just wanted to be immersed in culture. Did go to a place called Essaouira, maybe not pronouncing correctly. It's an old Jewish town, or at least used to be an old Jewish town. No more Jewish people live there, maybe one. And I'm Jewish, so I always like to go to places, where the Jewish folks live, just to see the experience. So I thought that was extremely beautiful. It was white and blue. And I think there was a bunch of movies made there. So that was an incredible experience. It's right in the ocean, had the best seafood ever, just bought it and they served it. It was wild.
Nice. Where else did you go? Did you go to the markets in Marrakesh?
Yes, Marrakesh and Casablanca was beautiful. Also went to this little town called Magazet. It's like all just, trees and farms and just cows walking everywhere. It was just like, you don't see anyone for like miles and miles and miles. Had beautiful little breakfast in this little restaurant. And it's hard to explain. It's like I like to go to the path less travel, not to commercial things. We did a lot of the, we went to Marrakesh and we went to the, place that like Beverly Hills. Like, I don't want that. I saw it was great, but I really wanted to be immersed in the culture, and I fully was immersed because there was no language.
Yeah, no, I fully get that. I was in Italy for 2 months, and everyone here in the States was like, oh, you got to go do this in Rome and you got to do that in Rome. And, I spent 1 day in Rome. I walked about 11 miles seeing all the sights, and like I was out of there. I was just like, I'm going someplace else. I'm going where people don't normally go. And so I went to Trieste, Italy and Matera, Italy. And, I loved it. I loved being able to just be and not have to worry about everybody else's agenda, for sure. So when you were done with the trip, what were some of the things that were going through your head about your experience?
Oh my God, that I did it, that I didn't allow other people's fears to stop me, that this was such a life-altering experience that I actually, when I was there, I felt like I literally lived there. Like I knew places, and that kind of made me want to do more, right? Travel more, be more, go more. Just made me a little more fearless in my life. Just because if I overthought it, I would never go because there was no language. And that's like, I'm coming back to that again, but speaking the language, or at least understanding some of it, it's important when you travel, especially as a woman.
Here at the Crossing It Off podcast, we are passionate about inspiring you in your bucket list lifestyle and empowering you to live out your lists. We offer many resources to assist you in your bucket list journey, such as web resources in the show notes, bucket list mentoring services, my book Live Out Your Lists, a private Facebook group for you to share your bucket list success stories with others, and more. All of these can be found at crossingitoffpodcast.com. Find the resource that fits your need so that you can live out your list. Now back to the show. For sure. What were some of the things about the experience, like when you're in it and you're there? What were some of the things that you like, your senses kind of exploded, or you like your visually or taste or smell? What were some of the things that like really caught your attention that said, this is a different place for me?
You know, the beauty of like Casablanca market, right? All the flavors of the seasoning and the way they were put together. That just really, like, feel like I'm right back there. The smell, it was just so incredible. It's hard to put it into words. It was for me, it was absolutely magical. And I went back again.
Well, that's a good endorsement.
I loved it so much.
So if you had a picture from your trip in front of you and you're looking at it, of some of that beauty, especially like, let's say, Casablanca, what do you see in that picture?
Well, when you just said that, I saw this man pulling like trolley with all kinds of herbs in it. And then he sat down and got himself a cup of tea. And it's not like, you know, when you order tea there, it's a whole big performance. It's magical. You know, they go like this and they move it around. I know you can't see me moving it around, but I just like, and he was like, maybe he looked 80, but maybe he wasn't. Life is tough. It's it's a third world country in many ways. And that was magical. And then I saw a little girl who has a monkey on her shoulder, and that was incredible. It was her pet.
Wow. That's awesome. Were there any things that like stuck out about the trip to you? Was there one experience or place you visited where you were like, oh my gosh, this made the whole trip worth it?
You know, it wasn't one place. It was the whole entire country. The people are so kind, so happy, so gorgeous, so like welcoming. And, you know, some of them had so little and they seemed the most happiest in the world. And I loved that. It made me appreciate life even more so.
Yeah.
I'm blessed I am to be able to live where I am.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I think that travel is a way to, you know, ignite yourself as far as one, being able to say, okay, I'm privileged to be living where I am, but at the same time, there is happiness all around, joy all around the world. So I think that's a great thing about travel. If there was one thing that you could suggest, like if you met somebody in your local Starbucks and you overheard them saying, oh, I'm thinking about going to Morocco, what would be like one thing besides just do it, right? Besides the Nike slogan, what would be one thing that you would say to them? If you go, you need to do X. What's the X?
Well, I was going to say the Nike slogan, just do it. And in many ways, just do it. Don't overthink it, because when you start overthinking it, then you don't do it. It becomes too planned. No matter what country you're going to, right? Allow it to come from your heart and your soul. There's a reason why you wanted to go there. So don't put restrictions on the journey. Kind of do it through, you know, be smart, make sure you know, get all of your dots and Q's and whatever the saying is marked. You know, your passport is updated, you got cash, you got credit card, you know, people know where you are. You know, don't be crazy and go to a place that you should not go, no matter where you are. Just be aware of yourself, right? Be aware of yourself and smile. People are kind and they'll help you.
You know, what you're describing to me seems to be like slow travel. So oftentimes I think when we Americans, we go overseas anywhere, we think that we have to do, like constantly be moving, and because we got to make it worth it by visiting all these things, you know,
Yeah,
again, go back.
I said less is more, especially for me in Morocco. you just have to be in the moment, and just spending a whole day in Marrakesh swap meet or whatever market, or Casablanca, right there in itself, there's so many alleys, and you go through so many, like within there's like little villages. Enjoy that. Don't, less is more. And that's kind of how I feel. And forget about speaking, feel it.
Yeah, that's good advice. I remember my time in Jerusalem when I visited Israel. There's so much to see, and I want to go back and hit on that thing of, you say don't restrict yourself, right? And I think sometimes when we set ourselves schedules of, I got to see this, I got to do that, I got to see these things, you miss something because you're on that schedule. The schedule is actually restricting, it's not freeing.
That's right.
So I walked around Jerusalem, the old part, and
yeah,
wound up at 100-year-old Arab restaurant in the Arab district that the family owned for 100 years. And I just sat there and had lunch for about an hour and a half and just watched people. That's not on the tour schedule, right? That's
right. That's
not on the list of approved or encouraged activities, right? That you have to do and have to see. I spent like 25 minutes at the Western Wall, and I'm like, I'm out of here.
No, yeah,
like
I've been there too. I've done those things too. Yes.
Yeah, but if I hadn't if I'd spent all my time there and not left and started just walking around, I never would have found that restaurant. And it was just so amazing to sit there and watch. The young Israeli soldiers on their watch across from me in the alleyway, and the young Arab boys with their Nike t-shirts, getting out of school. And it was just an amazing experience just to sit there and be. So I greatly appreciate that. So what is something else on your bucket list, Irene? What's something else that you'd like to do or that you're passionate about, crossing off?
So Greece. I'm going to Greece with my daughter.
Okay.
That's been on my bucket list for a long time. And out of the blue, she said, Mom, I would love to go to Greece. I'm like, beautiful. I would love to experience with you. That is my bucket list. And so we're planning it. That will happen end of August, beginning of September. Will be her graduation gift from college from me to her. Great partners. We traveled the world together.
Oh, that's great. It's always good to have somebody you can travel well with, I think. Is there something about Greece that she was specifically interested in, or was it just mom's like this, I want to do it too?
No, I'm not quite sure. She loves history. So, Athens is all about that. And I mean, she was laughing. Well, Mamma Mia was there. Why not us? And, in the beginning, for me, it was more of a romantic place to go. I thought it would be one of my honeymoons. That would be like, but that's not happening. So my daughter and I are going to go, and we're going to enjoy, and we're going to walk on the, pit and path, and just explore.
Nice. Very good. Irene, where can folks find you on the internet and some of the things that you do?
I am on everywhere, every platform you can imagine. I'm on there: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. And what I do is I inspire people to not give up hope and continue moving forward, and especially the people that live in chronic pain. That was me 5 years ago, and doctors told me that I will be in wheelchair, and I found this incredible neurological wearable technology that gave me my life back, myself back, my hope back, traveling back. Without it, I would not be able to do it. So I share that and inspire people to continue praying and believe in the power of prayer, and everything will be okay. You're not buried, you're planted for some incredible things. So stay strong.
So you have to help me. TikTok, you make your own videos, or what? Are you dancing or what?
I do everything. I share I dance a little bit, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm moving, and I make videos, inspirational videos. 99% it's inspirational videos, and, letting people know you can do it.
It's awesome.
Even if you think you can't, but you can. Everything you need is within yourself, and you got this.
Awesome. I agree with you. Irene, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story. I love talking to you, and I wish you and your daughter the best of journeys to Greece.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for letting me share my bucket list.